Welcome back to the studio. I'm Michael. So a lot has happened in the crypto market since we last spoke. We've seen some big announcements come out from Charles Hoskinson and Cardano about their future and how there's going to be some major delays happening. We've also seen some pretty surprising things come about after ApeCoin's land NFT sale, and also Solana has been, let's just say, struggling just a bit as of recently. So today's video, we're going to go over all of that in a short, concise format, and if you appreciate that, make sure to like the video, subscribe to the channel. So let's start off with the overall market before we get into some of those altcoin stories. Right now, the overall crypto market is sitting at a $1.75 trillion market cap, and a couple of interesting things are happening that I think are going to surprise you. So the first is when we're looking at Bitcoin. A lot of people have been freaking out over the last couple of days, saying that Bitcoin's price is going to continue to crash and you should be selling your positions. But ultimately, if we're looking at the charts right now, the last 3 months have seen a consistent upwards trend. We're seeing that we've consistently had higher highs and higher lows, and we outlined them right here. You can see 32,900 was that first drop. Then the next correction was at 34,000. Then right now we're seeing Bitcoin right around 37,300. So if you're worried about right now, the market is going to crash and continue to fall, I would say once we break below 34,000, then you could think, okay, maybe we're going to retest $30,000 per coin. But if you're looking at it just right now, yes, there's fear in the market, but ultimately we've still had higher highs and higher lows. So just make sure to keep that in mind. Next thing I want to talk about, though, is going to be what has been happening as of recently with Bored Ape Yacht Club's NFT sale, because they recently just had their land NFT sale for the Other Side Metaverse, which is Bored Ape Yacht Club's metaverse. And the other day we spoke about ApeCoin. We had said how get ready for a correction, because as soon as this land NFT sale goes through, I'm expecting a big correction. That is exactly what happened. ApeCoin went from about $26 per coin all the way down to $16 per coin. So if you didn't see that video, I'll make sure to link it down below. But what we have seen is that they had a very successful land NFT public sale. They sold out in a matter of hours, 3 hours, and for a total, it was right around $317 million. So while on the surface, everything looks good. Like, yes, the Other Side Metaverse completely sold out of 55,000 NFTs in 3 hours. That's good. When you're looking at the total dollar amount, $317 million, that's also extremely good. But when we're looking at some of the details, they revealed some pretty big issues. The first is that Yuga Labs said moving forward, ApeCoin is going to need to migrate off of Ethereum and to their own blockchain in order to properly scale, because one of the biggest issues that they experienced during this land NFT sale was gas fees. Ethereum gas fees were ridiculously high. In total, people spent around $200 million, $172 million to be exact, in transaction fees, and individual people, like one individual transaction for some people was as high as $10,000. So this makes it completely unusable, unsustainable, not scalable at all. And so as a result of this, moving forward, it's just something to keep an eye out for, because if Ethereum 2.0 doesn't roll out soon enough, if Ethereum 2.0 doesn't accomplish everything it has said, well, maybe we might see one of the biggest Ethereum NFT projects that's ever been created move off of Ethereum and try to build their metaverse on some other blockchain. So it'll be interesting to see how this goes. But yes, they had a successful land NFT sale. And yes, there's going to be a lot of exciting things to come from ApeCoin. So let me know your thoughts on the project. Have you been invested in it? And did you take any profits after that video we did the other day? Or where do you currently stand? Now let's talk a little bit about what's been going on with Solana, because Solana, one of our favorite layer 1 cryptos on the channel, has been experiencing some big issues as of lately. And according to a recent post from Bellboy, you could see that Solana was down yet again within over 7 hours, like an 8-hour outage on its network, and then to completely restart the blockchain. This is the 6th outage of this magnitude, like a significant outage that they've had in the last 30 days. And so when you start thinking about this, well, yes, on the one hand, it's good because Solana obviously has been exceeding and outperforming any sort of expectations they set for the project. More people are transacting on it, more NFTs are on the blockchain, more dApps have been built. But like, while that is good, the bad news is that they should be able to have been prepared for this. Yes, maybe at the beginning we could have experienced some of those issues, but now it's been about a year where we've seen consistent outages for Solana. And moving forward, this is going to have to be solved, because if it's not, Solana is going to continue to struggle, and we're going to see other projects potentially take over. We could see more and more dApps being built on Cardano. We might see other new layer 1 projects come about. We might see more move to Terra Luna. So you just need to keep an eye out on this, because it's not a good thing that Solana has consistently had outage after outage after outage over the last couple of months, and that is eventually going to start deterring people from using the blockchain and deterring developers from building on it. So now let's talk a little bit about one layer 1 crypto that we talk about all the time, and that is Cardano. So recently, there's been a couple of surprising announcements come out for Cardano. The first is that Cardano's Vasil hard fork is going to be delayed for months, and I've been seeing a lot of headlines about this all across social media and in a bunch of articles. And the one thing to remember with this is that it is not going to be delayed. The actual rollout of Cardano's Vasil hard fork is going to take place at the end of June 2022, as it always has been scheduled for. So first thing, we need to make sure we're clear about that. The thing that is going to be delayed specifically is implementation of the upgrades. So according to a recent post from IOHK, they said that, look, dApps utilizing the improvements are going to take a little while, maybe weeks, maybe months, but the actual upgrade is going to come out on time. And what we can compare this to is what has happened in the past. With Cardano's Alonzo upgrade back in September of 2021, we had seen that the upgrade came out exactly when we had thought, but there were delays. What they mean by this is it takes time for all these different projects to integrate and implement all of the new upgrades to the blockchain to their actual project. So the actual Vasil hard fork going to go off exactly as we thought. The time it takes for each project to implement these upgrades is going to depend and vary on the project. But I wouldn't be too worried about this, because when we look at Cardano, yes, Alonzo upgrade, the one that happened in September 2021, it was rolled out on time. But then as soon as we started seeing projects implement it and use it in about January of 2022, we saw the whole ecosystem explode. And I think we're going to see the exact same thing happen again with the Vasil hard fork. Yes, it's going to, be rolled out and launched the day they said. But I'm going to give it, 2 or 3 months after that to really see the effect on the ecosystem. And I think in 2 or 3 months' time after that upgrade, we're going to see another explosion in the total growth and TVL of Cardano's ecosystem. Last things I want to talk about are going to be with what has been going on with a new collaboration, a new partnership with Cardano. This is a pretty big one. So Cardano and a company called Wanchain are officially collaborating on enabling interoperability between the Cardano mainnet, Cardano sidechains, and other blockchain networks. And this is according to a recent announcement. So if you're not familiar, Wanchain has more than 15 layer 1 and layer 2 networks, and they offer a number of different bridges on their platform. So by Cardano being included and partnering with Wanchain, this is going to open the door up for Cardano developers and developers on other layer 1 cryptos to collaborate with Cardano. And this is going to be huge because it's going to allow Cardano to bridge over to over a dozen other networks if developers choose to, and vice versa. So that is a very good sign. And then last thing I want to talk about is going to be with Cardano's creator, Charles Hoskinson. He came out the other day and talked a little bit about issues with the US government and the crypto world. And this is something that I think could have is a sure sign and really telling of the overall state of crypto adoption. And that is that he said that right now the US and regulators are not prepared to handle crypto. And what he means by this is that right now when US does regulation, he says they either label something as a security, a commodity, or a currency, and they really put everything into different buckets. But he says the problem with this is that crypto and Bitcoin, a lot of them fit into all three buckets. For example, Bitcoin. It is used as a currency in legal tender in El Salvador. It is used, many people treat it as like a digital gold and as a hedge against inflation. And it can't just be categorized into one bucket. So until the US government, he says, really realizes the widespread use of crypto and doesn't limit it in terms of regulation into one category, well, it's going to take a while for big institutions to start really adopting it and going all in. Were you about to leave the video without liking, commenting, subscribing maybe? Well, if you were, now's your chance. Make sure to like the video, subscribe to the channel, and we cover all sorts of topics from crypto, NFTs, and what's going on in the tech world.